Surprise! As you can clearly see, I'm here to talk about the masterpiece that is Hollow Mind. Don't worry, I was and still am able to chill with the buddies I plan to be with, but since I ended up being in a driving distance from where everyone was staying, I decided to come home for a day for the sake of making this video for y'all. And man, was coming home worth it! This episode damn near confirms every suspicion about Belos that's been lingering around for months in the fandom. Years even. Let's get into this, shall we? The cold open starts with Luz and Hunter already inside Belos' mind. Granted, not the main mindscape just yet. This area looks more like his castle with paintings of all of his quote-unquote triumphs over wild magic, one of them actually being a painting of what happened in the season 1 finale. Hunter tries to retell the events of how they got there. He was doing some patrolling in the night market because he heard blurbs about wild witches trying to invade Belos' mind with wild magic. Those witches in particular being Rain, Darius, and Eberwolf. So not only does this fully confirm Darius is working with Rain in case last week didn't convince everyone, but Eberwolf is also on their side, which makes sense considering he's been mainly paired with Darius since his introduction. I just didn't want to fully jump to a conclusion quite yet. Only those three were together though, so no sign of the construction coven head or anyone else yet. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be kind of sad if those three are the only coven heads working in secret. I'm really hoping more are revealed in the future episodes. Before Hunter finishes his story, Luz comedically interrupts him while telling her side of things. She, Ida, and King went to the night market to get her purple cloak fixed. Unfortunately for them, Prim, the owner, won't do business with Ida because they joined the Oracle Coven, and Belos doesn't want them helping wild witches. This puts Luz into a fit of rage about how nobody should listen to a liar like Belos. She wants to know who he is so badly. She suddenly spots Hunter eager to question him about Belos, but she catches up to him in the same area where Rain, Darius, and Eberwolf were trying to perform the mind invasion spell, resulting in the two of them being transported into Belos' mind instead. Hunter also goes on a Belos gossip spree talking about how great his uncle is, showing off paintings like him giving witches coven signals in order to protect them from themselves, as well as a painting of him getting knighted into the Emperor's Coven as the Golden Guard. Pointing out that not only does Darius look sad in that painting, but also saying he doesn't know what happened to his most recent predecessor. The two of them also find the kid Belos who was teased in the first promo for Season 2B, this kid serving as Belos' inner self. Luz is technically the one who finds him, while Hunter finds a version of Belos he believes to be the inner self, but it's actually a mutation of all the palisman Belos has consumed over the years to stay alive. That explains why it has so many eyes. Luz assumes it's going to attack, so she uses a fire glyph as defense, which causes them to fall out of the castle mindscape area to land in the real mindscape with trees and everything. The first thing that caught my eye were the two paintings behind Hunter and Luz. It's a young Philip Woodabane and his older brother. I say older brother because this guy is noticeably taller than Philip if you look close enough. Obviously, we never really knew the age difference or if they were twins before, but I think these paintings confirm Philip was the younger of the two. In one painting, I think they were churning butter together. I mean, you know, pilgrims and all, so understandable. With the second painting showing Philip's brother carving the mask that Kid Belos is wearing. Also, in almost every single painting with the older brother in it, his eyes are blurred out with black lines. Only some, though. It makes me wonder if the older the memory of the brother, the harder it is to remember the exact events that occurred, hence the black lines serving as a visual of foggy memory for those specific events. The third painting shows the two brothers playing with sticks with looks like an angry mob in the background. Could it be the two of them were pretending to be witches, causing the rest of the townsfolk to get angry? All the while these paintings are in the background, Luz is trying to convince Hunter about Belos' lies. How the whole reason they're even in this new mindscape is because the previous ones were filled with lies to make Belos look good. Though Hunter is in denial over this fact, thinking it's because Luz provoked his inner self, who actually isn't his inner self. Id is able to contact Luz because of the walkie-talkie she and King were playing with earlier. Flapjack is also with them, eager to talk to Hunter over the walkie. This is the first time Hunter mentions Flapjack by name in an episode too, which is cool. It was very cute when he whispered "I love you" to him too. Ida explains two inner selves can't be a thing, but rather strong emotions can materialize to, you know, form something. The strong and negative emotions of fear and hatred those palismen felt towards Belos formed into that creature. When Kid Belos reemerges, two more paintings can be seen, one only showing the feet of Philip and his brother running towards a fire, it seems. A pitchfork can also be seen in the corner, so I wonder if this is a continuation of the previous painting showing the two boys playing with sticks. The second shows the two brothers walking towards someone who only has their hand showing, but this hand has a flame floating over their palm, which makes me think this is the witch the two brothers encountered that brought them to the Boiling Isles. The same one Jacob mentioned in his book in the episode Yesterday's Lie. Now that I really think about it, the previous painting with the fire could be depicting the building burning down in Jacob's book too. In hindsight, it's pretty messed up how the real inner self was able to play Luz like that, you know, pretending to be scared / sad only to be lured into his trap at the very end. I mean, it is Belos after all, but I guess it just feels more messed up that he was using his kid self in this form for the majority of the episode and still did that. The two of them eventually hop into one of Belos' paintings showing him saving people from a burning village. Meanwhile, Ida, King, and Hootie are attempting to prepare a return spell for Luz and Hunter. However, it's taking longer for them to set up everything since Edith still can't use magic like that. Luckily, Rain, Darius, and Everwolf have been tracking them, looking for a way to help in secret. Back in Belos' mind, Luz and Hunter find a younger Belos preaching to villagers about how wild magic killed his family and how the true light shines in 9 hues, those hues being the same ones that represent each of the 9 covens. Also, based on that little short circuit that occurred with his staff, it seems like the artificial magic that Belos can produce was not perfected at this point in time. The whole show was of course a ruse. The ending explosions with Belos claiming wild witches found him were pre-engineered explosions created by one of the old Golden Guards, showing the 2 of them on their way to the next town while lighting even more dynamite on their way out. Hunter's still in denial at this point in time too, thinking what he saw was for the greater good. The next memory is of Belos preaching to witches on the knee, showing off the old village that used to be there, which he likely burned down, eventually bestowing coven sigils onto the live listeners. Though like his staff in the previous memory, these coven sigils still didn't work like they were supposed to, knocking out the witches affected. Not gonna lie, it was incredibly disturbing how Belos said there was still work to be done after he found out the passed out witches were still alive. This man has zero shame. Zero. As the 2 exit that memory, there's more paintings to be seen, specifically of older Philip on the Boiling Isles. The one on the left looks like the memory of Philip meeting Luz and Lilith in Elsewhere and Elsewhen when they went back in time, with the second one potentially being when he first arrived on the Isles, since his hair isn't as long, he's missing his beard, and looking at the landscape in awe. A now semi-hysterical Hunter tries to chase down the inner Belos in hopes of seeing something not disturbing. While on this chase, there's another painting of Beard Philip looking at silhouettes of what looked like his older brother holding hands with a witch perhaps? That would explain why known witch hater Philip has an angry expression here. Based on all these paintings shown, it seems like the older brother always has a positive outlook on things, learning to enjoy life on the Isles even if witches were taboo back then on Earth during those times, whereas Philip can't stand the idea. Still can't, mind you. Another running scene ensues, but this one is triggered by the Palisman mutation catching up to them. Oh look, more paintings. Philip's brother giving him a hug, Philip, his brother, and someone else with a red cloak standing together. The brother looking excited about something at that, but Philip's got that knife ready to go behind his back. And of course, Philip and his brother about to fight to the death. There's also another one shown in the corner when Luz and Hunter are about to enter the portal door painting with the collector's face above it. It looks like either the same cloaked figure or Philip somehow using a spell on Philip's brother, I think. It seems like they're in a snowy area too, which could mean this took place when Philip and the crew were trying to go to Eclipse Lake. The portal painting takes them to a more present memory, specifically right after the events of Eclipse Lake. Belos is talking to none other than the Collector. This scene gives us quite a bit of insight on the Collector's personality / motivations. This character reminds me a lot of Dementio from Super Paper Mario. When they did that little rhyme scheme, they mentioned being trapped under the Titan's bones and they'll be able to play forever once the draining spell is complete on the Day of Unity. I took this as the Collector essentially being an agent of chaos in a way. With all the magic being wiped from the Isles, it's just a game to them. It makes me wonder if the Collector was imprisoned in that mirror by someone or something, like another witch or a group of witches, so they made a deal with Belos due to finding common ground in destroying all witches. Post-Eclipse Lake, Hunter runs into the room via memory showing Belos the portal key. Belos snatches it angrily, telling him to leave too, going on to explain to the Collector how he gets Hunter to do his bidding by telling him the Titan has big plans for him. Based on this wording, I feel like this confirms Hunter is not going to be sacrificed to the Titan. Rather, Belos lied about the plans just so Hunter wouldn't disobey him, unlike the previous attempts. Of course, referring to the other Grimwalkers he's made of his older brother. So yes, Hunter is confirmed to be a Grimwalker of Philip Woodbane's older brother. And the reason he keeps going through so many is because in the end, they always end up quote-unquote betraying him just like the original did. Pretty sure he's using the word betrayal in a very loose sense here. I'm sure the original brother just thought witch life isn't something to be feared or hated, so Belos killed him so he wouldn't get in the way of his plans. As the two leave the portal painting, another painting is shown of Philip standing over the body of his dead brother with his eyes in the reflection of the knife he used to kill him. I very much appreciate how accommodating Luz is being towards Hunter after everything they saw too. She knows this must be a ton for him to take in, so seeing her offer to have him stay at the Owl House was super wholesome. Hunter isn't responding though because he sees a hallway consisting of memories of how all the previous Grimwalkers were disposed of by Belos. Based on the mass count, Belos has went through 16 different Grimwalkers, with Hunter being number 17. So there's technically been 18 different versions of his brother throughout history. That's insane. The way some of these guys were killed are really messed up too. You know, one turned to stone, one straight up blasted out of existence, and one in the back, it looks like he was buried alive. God, dude. The Palisman mutation catches up to them again, this time able to warn Luz and Hunter to get away from Kid Belos, leading to Kid Belos laughing maniacally while apprehending the mutation with everything he collected throughout the memory hopping. He also transforms into his current self in order to talk to Luz and Hunter, opening with how happy he was to catch that mutation in his mind, since the voices would constantly nag at him. Perhaps what we saw in hunting Palisman was the souls of the Palisman he consumed overpowering him for a brief moment, and the magic he consumes from existing ones is able to give him control again while also keeping the glyphs on his arm at bay. The meaning of the glyphs on his arm is one thing that was not confirmed in this episode, by the way, so that's why I phrased that previous statement like that. Hunter questions the inner Bellows about the fate of his predecessors and how it wasn't wild magic that killed them, huh? Bellows just brushes off Hunter's words as another betrayal, saying out of all the Grimwalkers, he looked the most like his deceased brother. This leads to inner Bellows trying to devour the real Hunter in his mindscape, which would trap him forever. Luz tries to save him, but he gets dragged under. Bellows comments about how he hoped Hunter would last longer than the others. So does that mean damn near every single one was killed off in their teens? If that's the case, was Darius being mentored by the one right before Hunter when he was still at Hexside? Darius, I mean, still at Hexside. I wonder. Luz threatens Bellows about telling everyone about the Day of Unity and how could anyone possibly help someone like him, which prompts Bellows to show the memories of Luz helping him in Elsewhere and Elsewhen, i.e. Philip. The amount of sinister energy this gave off is crazy. Luz breaking down crying while these memories were playing, Bellows wanting her to call him Philip. I was shaking when I watched this live. Cut back to the Boiling Isles. Ida struggles putting the finishing touches on the return spell. Thankfully, Rain's squad drops off the potion disguised as flowers left at the front door. It still needs a power source, so they decide on using the remaining Titan blood from Amity's glove. Inner Bellows continues to advance toward Luz, telling her it felt good to hear another human say his name, and the reason he changed it was because Philip was run out of too many towns. Bellows also comments on how the Grimwalkers he's made are better versions of an old friend. So it's possible this guy wasn't actually Philip's brother, since Philip didn't refer to him as such, but I'd like to think they are, considering the two of them were seen together at such young ages, combined with Jacob saying they were brothers in Yesterday's Lie. And the reason he does this is because he's willing to do anything to stop witches from existing, even if it means killing his old loved ones. Bellows gets tired of trying to reason with Luz and tries to attack her, but before his attack reaches, Hunter returns by saving her with a wall of plant/ice glyphs, while calling her Luz instead of human for the first time. Ida is able to get them back, but neither of these kids are okay, especially Hunter. Hunter essentially had a mental breakdown after realizing Bellows knew he was inside his mind. Poor kid was fearing for his life. He knew Bellows would try to kill him like the other Grimwalkers if he found him. Not only that, but everything he believed to be good was a lie. Zeno Robinson did incredible voice acting during this scene too. You could really feel the pain Hunter was going through. Now, Hunter runs away in fear with Flapjack tailing behind, with the episode ending with Ida asking Luz what she saw in there. This episode really did change everything, huh? So many theories were confirmed during this episode, it's insane. Another thing that wasn't explained though, on top of the, glyph arm for Philip, was the creation of the original portal and how it got lost. It seems likely Philip killed his brother before the original portal was finished, unless he never created the portal in the first place. I guess it's possible the brother made it, but hid it after finding out what Philip intended on doing with it. I really want to see how Luz is going to get Hunter out of his horrible mental state he's into. This kid feels like he doesn't even have a real identity, I bet. Even him finding out about Bellows' true intentions just makes him like the other Grimwalkers in a sense, because, that's what they did. They all betrayed him. It's seriously messed up. But in this case, he's going to have a support system. Luz and Ida are on his side. Willow, Gust, and the rest of the Flyer Derby team are on his side. This is something the other Grimwalkers likely did not have. Just please be okay, big guy. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this episode. I think this might be my new favorite episode in the entire series. Real talk. I really think it is. I've never been that on the edge of my seat during an Owl House episode until this one. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like down below. It helps out a ton. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Take care. Bye-bye.